for one of their own. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it's a fairy tale for him because academy player, moving up the ranks, playing. He had his difficult moments with the previous manager, but now, again, fully reborn. And today he showed exactly why he's playing every minute, every game. He's been fantastic.
Mm. And he's shown a lot of mental strength in that period under the previous manager as well, didn't he?
Well, it must have been really difficult for a young player like him to not even get a look in. I mean, he wasn't even getting brought on half the time and certainly not starting. So it was, it would have challenged him and actually probably strengthened him as well for the future, knowing that this is what can happen. But I really like you. I mean, you use the word mental. I love his mentality. You know, just in his interview there, he's very calm and cool and understand, and even the way he plays is he's not an emotional play. You know, I just like him. I like I mean, there can't be many players in midfield, certainly many English players playing as well as him now in the Premier League. He's one of the best players in the Premier League in his position at the moment. It's been an incredible season, or second half of the season for him, and you can only see now his career really flourishing. He's been given a long-term contract. He's integral part of that team and the manager's plans. I can just see things going from strength to strength, and he could develop into... He's already a very, very good player, but he could develop into a top-class one. Yeah,
and he's still only 21, just turned, let's not forget. What he said there about Michael Carrick, not just him, but all the team, we'd do anything and die on the pitch for him.
Well, that speaks volume of what Michael Carrick has done for the team. When you have players speak so highly of you as a manager, it shows that you transform the team and you know how to give your message to the players and they can put it onto the pitch, which is great because this is exactly what United needed after the start of the season, and they were not performing well. So it's credit again to the training staff and Michael Carrick to put that belief into the player. And the words of Kobbie Mainoo, you know, it's a proof that the right thing are happening in the team right now.
He was due a goal. He said that himself. He could do with increasing his numbers. Only 4 Premier League goals in his career. 2 of them have now come against Liverpool, his first for almost 2 years. And you enjoyed this finish, didn't you?
Yeah, it was, again, using the word cool, calm, it was placed. It was, you know, he knew exactly what he was doing. You don't need to blast it. You don't need to just think of hitting the ball straight and down the keeper's throat, hitting the target or whatever. No, that is lovely controlled finish into the corner. Goalkeeper, if you execute this properly, then the goalkeeper gets nowhere near it. You score every time. Too many people think it's just about hitting the ball and hitting it on target and smacking the leather off the ball. It's not. This is cool, calm. He places it. You've got so much room there. If you just keep your head down, keep your knee over the ball and punch it down into the ground with the side of your foot, you get enough pace on it with the side of your foot. He meant absolutely everything about that finish, right into the corner, impossible to save.
Someone like your good self would sincerely appreciate that, Berber.
No, I did, and in his case, he started the attack, he finished the attack, calm, collected, he was following the play, the movement of the ball, he didn't rush, he was timing his positioning correctly, and in the end, the ball ended up in his feet. As Michael said, he doesn't necessarily need to hit with so much power sometimes, just inside of the boot, and he's going to do the job.
He got the Man of the Match award everywhere, of course. The second half, you've picked out some examples of just his overall play.
Yeah, his overall contribution was very good. Of course, you know, listen, you're playing in a really tough position, lots of players around you, so inevitably you'll give the ball away sometimes. But he's so neat, he reads the game well, he's got a lovely bit of skill when he needs it. He's sniffing out danger, like we just saw there. You know, again, reading the play, winning the play. You know, that doesn't get too much credit sometimes, but, you know, simple things like this, a little 1-2, I mean, he can do everything, really. You know, he's an asset when he hasn't got the ball, with the team out of possession, and when he's in possession, he's got an eye for a pass, his weight of pass is very good, he's got lovely skill. I mean, we've seen that on numerous occasions, and he can score a goal, even though he needs to just add that to his game a little bit more, because we can see he can do it. So he's just got a little bit of everything. He's the all-round midfielder.
Yeah. We mentioned his past issues, or the manager's past issues with him, and in terms of his mental test. Look at these numbers and the transformation since Michael Carrick walked through the door that, of course, has resulted in that new 5-year contract he was talking about there, and the Ruben Amorim this season. There were 11 games. He didn't start any of them. He played just 212 minutes. 13 under Michael Carrick, started every one and completed virtually everyone as well. I just wonder, you know, because managers lose jobs, go away, reset, recharge, reflect, Berber. Yeah. Nobody knows the answer to this, but I just wonder wherever he's watching that today, Ruben Amorim, whereas he actually thinks to himself, I actually got that one wrong.
He must be, right? Looking at the numbers and thinking, maybe I did that wrong. Maybe I needed to give him more chance to play, because he's proving him wrong right now. And you're just wondering sometimes how football can be cruel game, unfair game, because you never know who your manager can be. And in an instant, maybe he doesn't like you. Maybe he doesn't like you how you play. You give everything, but you still don't play, like I think it was the case with Mainoo. And now he's back into the team. Now I think he's out for vengeance in a way, to prove not only his former manager, but the people who doubted him, look, I was a bit forgotten, but now I'm back. I believe in myself. I have the qualities, and he showed it on the pitch. The way he plays with that swagger and confidence, I mean, it's a joy to watch. And of course, he's 21. Hopefully, he has so much room to grow and become even better, because he's in the right place in the right time. And the cherry on the top was the contract that he extended the other day.
That's the bonus for Manchester United as a club, I guess, that it happened soon enough that he hadn't gone in the January, because that was the talk that if Ruben Amorim had stayed in the job, he was leaving the football club.
Imagine it. Imagine that. Imagine Manchester United, this moment.
Since the age of 6, he's been there.
Exactly. You've
fan.
Brought somebody through the ranks. He's not only a great footballer, he's a great person. You know, Manchester United runs through his veins. Imagine seeing him in a different kit playing again and putting in these types of performances. All that work that you've done. And fans dream of that. Fans dream of having players that have come through the ranks. It's beyond comprehension that a manager and one person's decision can almost mean the end of a career for somebody at a particular club. But it happens regularly, and it was probably that far off happening this time as well. So, you know, a lucky escape maybe for Manchester United, and of course moving Amorim on and keeping Mainoo. You know, for the future, looks like they get the right one.
Great day for
Manchester United deserved it or not, Daniel?
No, not after the first half performance. I think they edged it, didn't they? And I think they were more decisive when they needed to be. It could have gone the other way. Liverpool had a great chance in the second half, and if that goes in the back of the net, it's a very different game, and the complexion changes. And Man United are chasing, but I think overall they soaked up the pressure while Liverpool dominated the possession, as we saw in the statistics. But like I said before the game, statistics and possession and all of that, it's irrelevant. It's about scoring goals and getting results.
Certainly felt like Manchester United had to dig into their reserves at 2-2.
Yeah, even at 2-2, we can be critically United for giving up, losing that momentum and almost obviously gifting the 2 goals. But then to wrestle it back, and I still felt with the team, there was a bit of calmness. I still thought if anyone was going to win it, it'd be United. You still felt there were that goal threat. No, United would also be lucky that there was no Salah or one of Liverpool's top strikers on the pitch, because I think they would have certainly created more problems for United. So we've seen the best and the worst of United today. Scored 3 goals, could have scored more, but they lost momentum. They're 2-0 up, and you're thinking, at half-time, you're thinking, we also want to see a complete United performance. We're just seeing bits and bobs over the last few months. But again, they gifted certainly the second goal, and even the first goal, even when they make the mistake, give it away cheaply. To run that distance and no one put a tackle in, it's not good. So they're the worries for United. You're on about the bigger picture next year in terms of competing in the Champions League. But to score 3 goals and get the job done, you have to give them all the credit.
Was the best of Manchester United in that first half when they came flying out of the blocks?
Points from their last 3 games to be sure of being back in the Champions League again next season. 11 defeats this season. That's their worst in 11 years. Never mind as defending champions. When he says they've got to be much better next season, that's something of an understatement, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and listen, they're the reigning champions. If you say to every Liverpool fan, Arne Slot's taken over from Jurgen Klopp and you're going to qualify for the Champions League in one season, and you're going to win the league the next season, you take that. That's amazing, you know. It's not like Liverpool have won the Premier League dozens of times. So it's just that the here and the now is disappointing, because probably it's gone the wrong way round for Liverpool fans in many ways. Lots of injuries, lots of problems, you know, off the pitch, on the pitch, started in the worst possible way, of course, with a horrific scenario with Diogo Jota, and there's been problem after problem after problem throughout the season for Liverpool. So back to the drawing board. You know, I don't think it's something that necessarily another £400 million is going to solve.
What do you think would help then?
Well, I think just having a break, having a refresh, getting everybody back fit and healthy again. Of course, some of those big signings, somebody like Isak, is has been a huge miss.
Can I just ask you, though, Arne Slot said in his pre-match interview there, we make the decision, a bit like Pep Guardiola, we don't like a big squad. We like quality rather than numbers. But when you do get this type of injury issue, and you look at that bench today for a Liverpool team going to Old Trafford for a game of this magnitude, do they need more strength in depth if, as expected, they're still in the Champions League next season?
Hindsight is obviously a wonderful thing. So you would say yes in the scenario that they're in at the moment with a lot of injuries, but that will not be the case under Arne Slot, because he's already said he prefers a smaller squad, and you take your chances. Because a big squad can give you a lot of problems. It's a
but
big
is there enough quality and depth to those smaller numbers? That's the point I'm asking.
That's the key. That you've got to have a quality 17, 18 players, let's say. Make it up with a few kids, a few promising kids, and take your chances. If you get a load of injuries, then it's obviously a problem. If you don't, then you have a real tight-knit squad. There's not many problems in terms of leaving people out. You can give enough players, enough game time, and everybody's a lot happier. Having a big bloated squad is not always the answer. That can cause as many problems as having a small squad and a few injuries. So that's the way he likes it. That's the way he's going to do it. And I've got no problem with that. Of course, you've got to keep everybody fit, and that's been a problem.
But he's got two obvious holes to fill in, Robertson and Salah.
He has, yeah. He's going to have to do some surgery to the team, absolutely. But, I mean, they spent an awful lot of money in the summer. So, you know, money doesn't grow on trees at Anfield. And absolutely, there will be one or two players leaving, and they're going to have to... I mean, having spent all that money on the attack, and now with Salah going, it leaves a gaping hole. In fact, there's already less options than there were last season. I think they lost sort of 3 and brought in 2 attacking players. Rio Ngamoa's obviously come and plugged a little gap, but he's still a young lad. But on the right-hand side, that's a massive hole that they've got to fill. Is Kirkes good enough to take on the mantle? He's probably going to be given the season, but they might have to have cover there as well. You know, people like Virgil van Dijk, they're not getting any younger. They're going to have to start thinking, and they are thinking. They've bought a couple of young players in that position. Whether Konate signs or not is another question mark. So there's a little bit of work to be done. Of course there is to the squad, but in general, I think he'll just be happy to get the majority of people fit, firing and ready to start a new season. In terms of today, is it as simple, like Virgil van Dijk, to say that they didn't have a recognised striker, so any team would miss Salah, Ekitike and Isak?
Well, in their case, for sure, but still, when you're a good enough team with good players, you will find a way to play without that type of striker, shadow striker or false 9 or whatever. And still today, Kobe Gakpo scored a goal, right? So it was a good start for the second half for them. But I don't think that's an excuse in a way that you should not win games. In football, you get injuries, someone needs to step up, score goals, and then you continue with it. So in the case of Liverpool, I think they have a good squad, good players. Yes, some of their big names are getting older, or Salah is leaving, but still good enough quality, especially if Isak is back, Ekitike is back. I like Florian Wirtz as well, even though he's still finding his footing. But in attack, I think they have enough quality. Yeah,
I mean, Isak's the one, isn't he? Because he's hardly been on the pitch. I mean, he almost, if he's fit and firing, he will be going to the World Cup with Sweden. He will be like a new signing, really, because Liverpool fans have hardly seen him.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's just bad luck. You know, he was scoring a goal, a bad challenge, he breaks his leg. I mean, that can happen in football. It's just bad luck. The problem is as well, though, with a long-term injury, everybody thinks, oh, he'll be back in, X time. It takes ages. It takes another month or 2 to get back up to real sharpness and fitness. And how many times do we see somebody that's coming back from a long-term injury? We've seen it with Rodri over the last sort of few months, just starting now to see the old Rodri. Everybody that has a big injury, it takes a little while. And the vast majority pick up another little injury along the way when they're coming back, a little hamstring or a little groin. You're out 2 or 3 weeks again. It's your muscles